We at Class also have an app available on both iOS or Android for free from their appropriate app stores, which can aid with the likes of machine optimization. This will be entitled CEMOS Advisor. Once I've downloaded the app to my phone, I can load in the app itself, and the first screen I am met with is that of the selection of my machine. I can select from any of the current range of either our LEXION, Tucano or Avero models. If I select on my model, I then have options for both the new range of LEXIONs, be that our SynFlow range, but I also still have the options available for the likes of our older generation of LEXION models too. If I then select one of my machines, so for example if I select a hybrid machine which is of a 8700, I can then apply this setting. What it's then going to do is load in any appropriate settings depending on the crop which I've selected. So, for example, if I've selected the likes of barley, I can click on and select barley. What this is going to enable me to do is give me a very quick way or very quick recommended optimization setting depending on any of the settings I currently have loaded. So we can see I've selected barley and it's preloaded in all of the barley settings that we as Class select for our CBus terminal. If I've any additional or if I've made any additional changes to these settings, so for example if I'm not running my drum speed at 750 RPM, I'm running it at 700, I have to then go in and load in the setting which I'm selecting, so 700 RPM. I can then do this for any of my available adjustments on the machine. I can then optimize the settings themselves, so what do I want to get from my machine? So if I select optimize, I can then select any of the appropriate recommendations. So I can select, for example, maybe I'm getting some dirty tank sample for my grain. So if I select dirty tank sample, it's then going to give me any available options or available recommendations of how to make adjustments to my machine. So for example, here it's showing me I should shut the first row of my rotor flaps, which I can then go ahead and do on my machine itself. If I have found this has then helped, I can then say apply and say yes, this has solved my problem. However, if it's not helped my solution, I can say no, and it's then going to give me an additional change I can make. So here it's telling me I can now reduce the likes of my rotor speed. If it has then saved my problem, I can select yes, and I can see it has now made that change to the setting itself. So I can see it's now adjusted the likes of my rotor speed all through the app itself. Again, this isn't making any changes to my machine settings. This is purely a guide or an optimization strategy through the app on the phone itself. If I then want to check the likes of my loss levels, I can go in and select optimization of loss analysis. What I can do here is then load in the crop which I'm cutting and whether or not I'm swathing or chopping that crop. I can then load in the header width, so maybe for example I'm running a 10.8 meter header, I can select 10.8 meters and OK that. And then I can select the area I want to measure for my loss. So when I get out the back of the machine, if I shut my machine down and go out around the back and look at a 10 by 10 centimeter square, I can then select how many kernels or grains I am seeing in that square. So maybe on the floor I'm seeing, for example, 8 grains. I can then select 8 grains. I then finally select the yield of the crop as well. So maybe I'm cutting at 9 tons to the hectare. I would select 9 tons to the hectare, which I can see has changed at the top. I will then finally press the result button. This gives me an optimization or a look at what I'm getting from the machine, so I can see the percentage loss from the back of the machine itself. This is a very nice and easy way for us to see how we've optimized our machine. If we haven't got any of the CMOS automatic features available to us, we have got this quick and easy guide through the likes of our app on our phone. We can finally then set the likes of a target. So for example, if I want to try and reach a 0.5% loss level rather than a 0.7, which I'm currently at, I can then select and optimize the system, and this is then going to allow me to go in and optimize the system which I want to change.